Hello there, A Day with Caleb. Today we are back with another Disney video. This one being, I'm going to try and make a series, a little mini series, the history of rides. We start first with my favorite ride and my brother's favorite ride and CS's favorite ride. That is the Haunted Mansion. We'll kind of go through the different variations, break down the history of the Haunted Mansion. I have footage I shot in March, as well as some other footage that I got on YouTube. I will link or, put the channel name if I use any clips that aren't mine. So let's go right into the history of rides, this one being the first part. Hopefully at least 3 more parts in this. We'll see. These take quite a bit of time to do, but very, very cool to discover the history. I knew a lot about the Haunted Mansion, but to dive in and pick out things you didn't know. So let's go into the history of Haunted Mansion.
Caleb.
Haunted Mansion is a dark ride attraction featuring 99 ghost happy haunts. Will you be the 100th? They have an Omni mover system called a Doom Buggy, which was very advanced for its time. It features special effects all over the spectrum. Pepper's Ghost, audio animatronics, different tricks, and different special effects to bring the Haunted Mansion to life. There's pop-up things. You see ghosts there in the back that are moved by bicycles, and different lighting effects that go into it as well. Most of these special effects stumped the magicians of that time frame, even the Pepper's Ghost effect. Why is Haunted Mansion my favorite ride? Well, there's many reasons. We'll start with probably one of my favorite memories. We were 12. This was our second trip to Disney World. We had gone in 1993, so we were four and a half, almost 5, because it was October 1993. This was about 8 years later. We were 12, 13, so early 2000s, right? Yeah. So the first trip, our cousin, I guess, second cousin, got some free. She worked at Disney Then the second one was another family member who worked the Disney Cruise Lines for many years. She's been retired, but the second trip we arrived there, they had like a Disney meeting thing or like a party or something. So they were in one of the Disney resorts, and that was our first time staying at a Disney resort. I want to say it was around Animal Kingdom, maybe. We got a zebra little mini basketball and a line basketball. We still have both of those. Great, fantastic, but we went to each of the parks. Well, I think we were there 3 days, so we hit up all the parks. But the day we were at Magic Kingdom, I'm talking no one was there, ghost town. So we rode the Haunted Mansion, no exaggeration, probably 25 times. We would get off the exit, go through, and just keep riding. So that's where my love for it began. But there's many other reasons. Haunted Mansion is a great ride. It has, that repeatability that some rides don't really have. I mean, for example, Seven Dwarf Mine Train is a fun ride. It's a great ride. But do you want to ride it multiple times? I guess the wait time has a lot to do with that, because I don't want to sit there an hour to ride it again. I guess if you had the opportunity to ride it multiple times, you could. But some rides, like Jungle Cruise, I'm not gonna want to ride that, over and over again. So, it has repeatability, it has a great story. I'm not a big horror, scary kind of guy. If there's a clown involved, I'm out no matter what. But this is spooky. It's kind of scary, but it's right on that verge of kind of scary, but not really. But one of my favorite scenes, which, has been added since it opened in Disney World, the staircase scene, which is a great history and lore to it. This widow of a gun manufacturer, is it Smith and Wesson, maybe? Anyway, she kept building onto the house because she feared that ghosts were there, and somehow that appeased them. So she would build staircases to nowhere. She would have doors open up, and like nothing was there. You would fall down and kill yourself because you're way up. But this crew would keep building and keep building every day until she died. And then I believe the house was abandoned. Winchester, that's who it is, not Smith and Wesson. Winchester. But the staircase scene, that's where that comes from. Anyway, huge rabbit trail. I love the Pepper's Ghost effect. I love the Omni mover system. They utilize that. But we'll get more into the history that's just kind of some of the reasons why I love the Haunted Mansion. Haunted Mansion has inspired other Haunted Mansion type rides. This is Mystic Manor, which has the Haunted Mansion vibe, but is not the Haunted Mansion. This is Phantom Manor. And then we have Tokyo Disneyland, which is pretty much the same beats as Haunted Mansion. Initially thought of as a walkthrough attraction featuring ghosts and paintings that moved and different things. The Museum of the Weird, that's what the walkthrough attraction would have been. It eventually got turned into the ride we know and love, the Haunted Mansion. It would take several years to open. It was announced in 1961. Construction began in 1962. The exterior, the outside of the Haunted Mansion, was finished in 1963, but would not open until 1969. The 6-year delay was mostly due to Walt Disney being involved in the New York World's Fair. They just simply didn't have time because of the rides and attractions they were working on for the World's Fair. So the Haunted Mansion was kind of put on the back burner. And then they kind of redesigned and kind of came back to the table after Walt's passing in 1969. I'm sorry, 1966, not 69. The Imagineers, Mark Davis and Claude Coates, disagreed on the tone of the ride. One wanting kind of more enjoyable, upbeat, kind of goofy, and then one wanting frightening elements, scarier elements. They kind of compromised, and that's why the ride kind of shifts halfway through in tone. You notice the first half is kind of goofy and upbeat and silly. Then it kind of shifts to a darker tone, and that's because they disagreed kind of on what the style and what the tone of the ride would be. Walt's death in 1966 evolved the project. The walkthrough idea was scrapped due to low capacity. They wanted an attraction that would get guests through and have a big capacity. A walkthrough attraction would not have held much capacity in the way of crowds. So they reached a solution with the state-of-the-art Omni mover system from the Adventures Through Inner Space. They developed the Omni mover system there, and they used that system, renamed it to the Doom Buggy. This offered high guest capacity because the Omni mover system could hold 1 to 3 people, and it allowed Imagineers to control where the car turned and what you saw. So, for example, when you're going backwards, that's on purpose, because if you went forwards, you would just see kind of emptiness. This kind of gets you in that uneasy feeling of the Haunted Mansion, and kind of sets up the tone of the ride. And it also puts you away from things they don't want you to see. Plus, the Omni mover is great as far as crowd capacity goes. It gets guests through very quickly. The mansion opened to all guests in August 12th, 1969. It would go on to open in Magic Kingdom in 1971 and Tokyo in 1983. There have been many updates over the years, including this, the Hatbox Ghost. Originally was in the opening, but due to complications was taken out of the ride, but added many years later, as you saw in the clip there. This is all the special Disneyland layover. It's not in Disney World, unfortunately, but this is Nightmare Before Christmas, kind of the layover there. Then Disney World has received updates, including the staircase scene and the attic scene, as well as they put the ring there. Then this whole queue area, the interactive queue, was added years later to give guests kind of a break from, well, kind of a distraction from waiting in line. Now you could interact with the different elements and the murder mystery. Yes, if you go next time, read the plaques and try to solve the murder mystery there. That's very neat. But that is the history of the Haunted Mansion. Hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, and share.